Where to begin on this one? I mean, where exactly do I start? Do I make my point about how clueless the American movie industry is to make such a thing? Do I talk about my permanent crush on one of the actresses in this movie game? Do I explain that from a Mortal Kombat fan's perspective that this game had a certain feel to it you would only find in a Mortal Kombat clone? Do I explain why I did an episode that had nothing to do with Street Fighter in between two episodes having to do with Street Fighter? Do I stop now and go masturbate furiously for 3 hours just to clear my head? I know what to do. Street Fighter the movie. The arcade game. I'm so very torn on where I stand on this game. I'm gonna agree with all the haters, but at the same time I'm gonna play a good dose of devil's advocate in here. Al Pacino not included. Let's begin with trends in gaming. So a game comes out of the blue. Arcades get lines out the door. The movie industry notices some bureaucratic numbers and goes and makes a movie out of it. As far as video games becoming movies, they never get it right. Yet, some get sequels, which are even worse than the original. Then it usually tapers off after maybe like 1 to 5 movies, and the game remains a classic now, and gamers can say, remember when they made a movie out of that? And then everyone laughs and groans. Let's apply that formula to Street Fighter 2, shall we? Some movie-making idiot who knows nothing about gaming gets the movie rights and tears apart the story to put an uninteractive version of something that isn't better onto the big screen. Sure, the kids will pay a few quarters to play it. Why not pay more? Stay with me now. For a movie ticket to make them feel so ripped off that they stop playing or vomit convulsively every time they play the game, since now the crappy movie is attached to the memory of an otherwise great thing. Once again, hear me out until the end of this. I'll get to the damn game soon enough. Now let's say that horrible movie which soiled the original game gets a game made from the movie, made from the game again. I can feel logic being slowly tortured as I outline this. Let's give those movie industry idiots credit for the amazingly great things they do. Hey guys, you hear about the Street Fighter 2 game?
Oh yeah, it's all the rage with the young people, right?
Well, guess who got the movie rights? This guy. Time passes. Movie gets made. I can't understand why the kids didn't like the movie. It got all their favorite characters and Jean-Claude Van Damme. It should sell itself.
But what do we do to redeem ourselves?
I'm glad you asked. I put a clause in the actors' contracts that say they have to be in a game of the movie.
But isn't the movie made from a game?
Exactly. They'll never see it coming. Time passes, game gets made. Apparently they don't like the game and suicide numbers are up as a result, but I have an even better idea. Broadway.
Sounds good. Could you do me a favor and kick the chair out from under where I'm standing? The noose should take care of the rest.
Let me introduce you to Street Fighter the movie. I guess I have to differentiate between the game and the movie. I'll say theater edition if I'm talking about the movie, and arcade edition if I mean the game. This is still likely going to be the most confusing episode of this show. I know, because my inner monologue is not speaking as clear as if it could be if it were thoughting goodly normal mud-flap pants. Did I mention that I have a lifelong crush on Kylie Minogue? I think I left hints on other episodes of this show, but she happens to be in this game as Cammy, wearing this really hot one-piece thing showing off a good deal of leg. By the way, are you hearing this crappy music from the original soundtrack that I'm playing? It's like a MIDI file covers of Sega Genesis versions of their version of Street Fighter 2. It makes me so angry. I need to relieve some tension. What? Well, okay, joking aside, here's a very badly pixelated looking Kylie Minogue. I wish digitized gaming came out after a screen pixel was smaller than a fucking quarter. I'm not saying she's the prettiest woman in show business, but let me check my list of personal opinions. Yep, I still think she's the sexiest, it says so right there. The list does not lie. My point, heavy pixels can make a pretty woman pretty not pretty. You follow? Plus, for a woman who I've watched do anything, I'm really hating her movie roles. Does anyone remember Biodome? Holy pantload, I sure hope I'm the only one. The movie of Street Fighter was so bad that I am totally surprised that Uwe Boll had nothing to do with it. But here's the thing. This horrible, horrible abomination of film actually turned a profit. 3 times what it costed to make. This is just what the movie industry was counting on. The Street Fighter name lured the fans, and they went blindly into a Venus flytrap cacophony of putridness. I blame this movie for killing Raul Julia. We could have had a third Addams Family if not for this movie. I'm gonna mention how, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I did notice a certain smoothness to how the game played. Street Fighter went through many incarnations in its lifetime, and why not a digitization with recognizable characters like Sawada and Blade and... was Akuma even in the movie? Probably shoehorned in there somewhere just like Dhalsim. I'm not gonna watch it again to find out, it's bad enough I saw it the first time. But this didn't remind me of Mortal Kombat aside from the digitization, it reminded me of survival arts. Devotees will recall how I recalled that. This game was developed by Incredible Technologies, maybe the first non-golf or ultra-violent limb-severing game they ever made, but I guess Capcom wanted all the credit unless you got as far as to see the end credits. There's where it says Incredible Technologies, known for making such incredible games. Can't wait until the digitized version of Mega Man comes out. Although, if they use the right porn stars, I'm all for it in the Dark Stars franchise. This was out in 1995. Does it deserve a quarter? No. I'm not a fan of Street Fighter, but if the original is within 5 to 50 miles of the movie's arcade machine, go play that instead. There's home versions of this with severe frame rate drops and no real smoothness or fluidity. You can get it if you own a Sega Saturn or PlayStation 1, since next gen doesn't do backward compatibility, except the Wii U. I'm glad the movie was so bad there wasn't any sequels. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, you piece of fuck, I saw you in the fucking theaters! Because if there was a sequel, Street Fighter 2 the movie would have been in the theaters for a while, then later a director's cut, then later an extended edition, then later a producer's cut, Arcade Pass,
a champion edition,
let's make it last.
Key Grip's cut, then later Super Street Fighter 2 the movie edition, then later Turbo edition.